Hi friends, and welcome back to another science virtual lesson. But wait, do you notice something different? Where am I today? Is this our normal science lab? No, this isn't the science lab. Where am I today? Oh, if you said zoo, kiss your brain. I am at the zoo. Z-O-O, zoo. Why do you think that I am at the zoo? Could this be a virtual field trip? No, sillies. We're not on a virtual field trip. What is around me? Oh, why is it so loud? What is around me? Animals! Yes, our next topic will be animals. Before we begin, let's refresh our brains. We have learned so much about living things. Remember that all living things include plants, animals, and even humans. Also, there are 5 musts that all living things must do or need. Also, all living things have a covering, something that covers their body. For today's lesson, we are going to go undercover and discover different coverings. The I can statement for this lesson is I can distinguish different animal coverings. Alright friends, before we get started now, it's important that you know that all living things have a covering. And so as humans, we do have a covering. We are covered from head to toe by something. Now think about it. And I know we do cover ourselves up with clothes, but beneath and under our clothes we have our covering that is skin. Oh, humans have skin, and the skin covers our body from head all the way to our toes. So I want you to quickly take out your arm and feel your skin. Describe to me what it feels like. For me, my skin is smooth. Now, not all skin feels that way, and especially in animals. But regardless, coverings are so important, and they have an important value, and they protect us. Now, skin protects humans from the outside world, and it helps prevent us from getting sick. And also, skin can help us stay cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Remember to always apply sunscreen onto your skin to take good care of it. Well, now that we have discussed humans, let's talk about animals. Here we have our special guest, Polly Panda has returned. Now take a look at Polly Panda, and remember, he is living, for he is an animal. And living things are covered entirely by a type of skin as well. But animals don't necessarily have the same type of skin as humans do. For example, Polly Panda, look at his covering. It's quite different than ours. What type of covering do you think Polly Panda is covered with? Let's take a look at another animal with the same type of covering. Oh, isn't that scary? The brown bear has the same type of covering as Polly Panda. Do you have any ideas as to what type of covering this might be? Oh, if you said fur, then you are correct. Fur is a type of animal covering, and I'm sure you've seen animals with fur. Now, fur is made up of a lot of hair. Now, as humans, we have hair on our bodies, but we don't necessarily refer to it as fur, for we don't have that much to consider it fur. Now, fur helps animals keep them warm in the winter. It's almost like they're wearing a big coat to go outside, just like us. Fur protects animals from rain and bugs in the summer. Again, fur is their protection. It keeps them safe. Now, different animals have different types of fur. Let's look at this rabbit, for example. Oh, isn't it so cute? Now, rabbit fur is soft, it's super cuddly, but there are animals that don't have super soft and cuddly fur. For example, we have the antelope. Now, an antelope's fur is not as soft or as cuddly as a rabbit. The rough hair helps them stay warm in the winter. Again, it's almost like a large coat. Let's now look at different animals that have fur covering. Our first animal is the tiger. The tiger also has plenty of hair all over its covering, which again we refer to as fur. Up next we have our mighty friend, the raccoon. Again, all of that fur helps the raccoon stay safe. Up next we have a monkey. Now can you see all of that hair from head to toe? Up next we have this little guy. Now this bird has a type of covering different than fur. What type of covering do you think that a bird has? Feathers! Oh, if you said feathers, then you are correct. Birds are covered entirely by feathers. Look at those awesome colors. Now, feathers grow out of their skin. Now, did you know that feathers are made out of the same stuff as fingernails? How cool is that? Now, most birds use their feathers to fly, but not all animals fly because of feathers. Some animals, like this little guy, uses its feathers to swim. What type of animal is this? Take a close look. The penguins use their feathers to swim, not to fly. So penguins use their feathers to stay warm and dry. Up next, we have the mighty ducks. Now, ducks are also covered by feathers, and they use their feathers to fly and to also help them float on top of the water. And lastly, we have the last of our little friends. Take a look at this little guy. How awesome are the colors, right? Now, this guy is a fish. Do you have an idea of what type of covering fish are covered with? Scales! Fish are covered with scales. Now, scales are also made up of the same stuff as our fingernails. How awesome, right? Just like the feathers. Oh, take a look at this guy. Snakes also have scales. Oh, he's scary. No. Did you know that snake scales are actually not slimy like most people like to think, but in fact, they are actually smooth. And I must say that they are awesome colors. Look at that awesome green. The scales on a snake protects the snake if it were ever to get a tag or rub up against something rough. The scales on a snake kind of act like an armor on a knife. It is their protection. It protects them. Another animal that has scales are lizards, and scales on a lizard are used for the same type of protection. It keeps them very safe. Now, snakes and lizards oftentimes do shed the scales because they outgrow the scales, and so they have to leave it behind. Awesome job, my friends. Today you guys did an excellent job. Kiss your brains. You just stretched your brains even more. Let's quickly review the types of coverings that we discussed today. Remember that humans have skin. Type of covering for animals is fur. Another type of covering for an animal are feathers. And the third type of covering were scales. Great job today, friends. I will see you at our next science lesson.